Hey YouTube, I'm Tevin, but you guys can call me T. Don't let desperation dictate your destination. When I moved to Canada from Jamaica, I didn't think I had any opportunities. I didn't see any. I couldn't find anything for myself because I was so tunnel vision on what was around me. I was so focused on the worldly pleasure of drinking, smoking, having sex, doing all of that. I didn't see anything else. I was so insecure. I was so programmed to believe that I was set in stone for the life I was given. And I started listening to people around me. Everyone was like, go to the army, go to trade school, do this, do that. And I was going to do it. But I heard something from a mentor, one of my mentors actually. He said, don't listen to people who are not living the life that you want to achieve. And I took a moment to sit back and reflect and saw that if I went to the army, I would have been mediocre and comfortable. And if I went to trade school, I would be working way too much without any means of escaping. I'll be trapped either way. And that's not the life I want to live. I want to be free. I don't want to die for a country that I wasn't born in. I don't want to die for someone I don't even know. Some prime minister, some president I don't even know. I don't want to get up every day working so much hours a day without actually seeing a path out. I don't want to keep damaging my body over and over. And no one's gonna be there for me. And when I decided that I'm not going to do any of those, I got backlash. I got people throwing shades at me under silent. I got this, I got that. I saw all of them. I picked up on all of them, but I just let it slide. And I was like, no, I don't want to do this. I want freedom. I want to be rich. I remember someone said to me, they said you will never get rich unless you buy lotto. And if I didn't have a strong mental fortress back then, I would have taken that and stored it in my brain, and I would have started buying lotto. And I would be stuck in the same predicament. I would have been in a worse state because I would basically be gambling. I grew up with the identity that gambling is bad, so I internalized that. But as I was saying before, my mentor said, don't listen to people who is not in the reality that you want to achieve. Don't listen to people who is not living the life that you want to achieve. And I sat back and I took his advice because he's living the life that I want to achieve. He's a millionaire who got rich off Bible principles. This man read the Bible, studied the Bible, and got rich off of the teachings that God put in the Bible. And me seeing that, me learning about that, I rather to took his idea, I rather to listen to him than listen to any of my family members, because none of them are living the life that I want to achieve. If they were living the life that I want to achieve, we would all be in a way better situation. But I saw that, I needed to become the person who would change the trajectory of the family. I needed to be the one that break the curse. And the next thing I learned is generational curses aren't spells or witchcraft. They aren't always those things, because yes, sometimes they can be those things, but most of the time it's mindset, it's what you believe in, it's how you were programmed. Say for instance, I grew up in the ghetto, I grew up in the slums, and my identity remained there. I didn't want to move. I didn't saw anything better for myself. And then I had a kid, and that kid grew up with the same mentality that this is where they belong. That's the curse passing on to them. And until someone decide that they would separate from the group and go off to live somewhere else to do better for themselves, the curse would remain the same. And I realized that we are all just living in a same curse mentality. And if I don't try to escape, if I don't try to be better, I would be continuing the generational curse. And I decided that I'm not going to the army, I'm not doing no trade school, and if I'm going to college, I'm doing business. And when I said I was going to do business, people didn't like that, because they're like, you could do construction, you can do electricity, do this or do that. I'm like, yo, what happens when I can't do it? What happens when I reach a certain age and my body just breaks down? And they're like, oh, you're young, you shouldn't be thinking about that. When I used to do sales, I remember I was working a sales job for maybe a week, door to door. This guy used to install gutters and eavesdrops, or he used to build a house. A man said after 15 years he got tired of doing that because he was doing so much work and he was not getting paid the amount he think that he was supposed to get paid. And the moment he swapped to sales, he wasn't doing door to door. He was working with the upper guys. He was working with the guys who installed it because he had experience. So man basically skipped all of that and he's getting more money than what he used to get when he was doing implementation, when he was building the houses, when he was doing all of that. But the moment, yo, I decided that I'm going to pursue sales, I'm going to pursue something like communication, I'm going to use my imagination instead of using my hands, because, yo, your body is gonna die out. Eventually there is gonna come a moment where you can't use your hands and the most you're gonna be able to do is talk. And when I decided that, yo, I wanted to do more than talking, I got backlash. But the next thing, people won't see what you see. Not all of us has the same vision. Some of us has 20/20 vision. Some of us has 30/30 vision. Some of us has 100 out of 100 vision. And some of us can only see what we want to see. I want to see abundance. I am seeing abundance. I'm not conforming myself to this poverty mindset no longer. I'm not conforming to myself to the identity that, yo, there's nothing better for me. I'm not conforming myself or my family, everyone that comes after me, to the same generational curses. I rather to learn from someone who's living the life that I want to experience instead of living the life, or instead of following the people around me and live the same life they've been living. I rather invest so much in myself, knowing that, yo, eventually all of this that I'm learning, all of this that I'm building is going to pay off. Bro, I made up my mind a few months ago that I was gonna leave. And I decided, yo, stack my cash. So I started working double. The least I work a day is 8 hours. The most I'm working a day is 16. And that's going to job. When you take into consideration recording a video, editing the video, that's like whole different. So say for instance, I get up at 5 and I start editing a video. I need to get to work at 8, right? And I get up at 5. I need to take a shower so I can leave out by 6 because I'm taking a bus to my destination. That's the far work. That's the early morning work. I do prep there on the kitchen line, whichever. And from 6, after 6 to 7 to 8 o'clock, that's when work starts. And from 8 to 4, I end. And then I grab a Uber to the next work, which is from 5 to sometimes it's 10, sometimes it's 11. On Thursday, it's 11. On Friday, it's like damn near 12, 1 o'clock. And then to come back home, take a shower. Sometimes I don't even eat dinner. Sometimes I don't even eat breakfast. And yeah, it's draining. It's hard, yes, but I've gotten so used to it. I prefer to make the sacrifices now, so in the future I can live a much comfortable life. In the future, I know that all the grinding I did pay off. But let me get back to the story. Take a shower, brush my teeth, record a video and edit the video. Sometimes I'm not going to sleep till 2. And yo, take in consideration, if I'm unable to go to the gym, I'm doing 100 push-ups, I'm doing 100 squats, I'm doing 100 sit-ups, and I still have to meditate for at least 5 minutes. So I get home at 1, I'm rushing to do all of that. But I know that to achieve greatness, you must give something up. And oftentimes, the most valuable thing is self-sacrifice. I can't expect to get exceptional result if I don't want to do exceptional amount of work. I can't expect to get my best. Like what, yo, take that out. I can't expect to get exceptional result and only doing my best, because my best is not enough. My best won't guarantee success. I have to go above and beyond. Self-sacrifice shows God that you're willing to do whatever it takes. I'm gonna give you a rundown. I'm gonna give you a story. Remember the story of Cain and Abel? Cain gave God what was there. Cain gave God like the everyday thing. Cain just gave God his best. Probably not even his best, his bare minimum. And Abel went above and beyond and gave God more than his best. And you know what Cain did? Cain got jealous and killed his brother. That's why God was so happy with Abel's gift, because Abel did more than his best. And if you read between the lines in the Bible, you'll see. But most of us just skip over all of it. Most of us just read the Bible to read it and say, oh yeah, we read this. Most of us remember the Bible like bars for bars, scriptures for scriptures. But when you say, yo, break it down, give me the meaning of this verse and that verse, you don't know what to do. I'm not afraid to admit that, yo, like for most of the Bible, I don't remember anything I'm reading, but I know what it's saying. Yo, because I ain't playing, man. This is genuinely my favorite book in the world. Like, see, all of this is notes. All of this is notes. The green ones are the green ones are like meaning. It was blue highlight first because I didn't have any green highlighter. And the orange one are like how I can better explain them. Bro, I study this. I learn a lot from this. So I know what I'm talking about, but at the same time, I know so little. And in that book, there's so much within that book teaches you how to live the life that you want to achieve. If God wrote that, if God made people wrote that and left it behind to achieve a life that he wanted me to achieve, because God wants us to have wealth. God doesn't want us to live in poverty. If God left that book for us, why shouldn't I listen to the book? Why should I listen to people who's in the same situation as me and try to better myself when they're not giving me a route to take, when they're not giving me when they're not giving me the route that's guaranteed success? They haven't experienced that life before. They are content with the life they're living now, because if they weren't content, they would be living a better life. And I am not content with this life that I'm living. So I decided that, yo, I want to be free. I want to buy back my time because the days are long and evil. You think I like clocking it at work? You think I like getting up at 5 to start getting ready by 6 so I can leave out to go to work and clocking? Bro, some days I don't eat. Some days I'm standing there sleeping and I'm just sipping on a Red Bull. You know how much time I got disrespected from people I'm working with? And I keep showing up, putting in the work. Because I decided that, yo, grind for now and build your mental attitude, build your body, change your identity. The more you show up, even when you're tired, the more you show up, even when you're depressed, the more you show up, even when you want to quit, is the stronger you become, both mental and physical. So, yo, I'm not going to let the desperation that, yo, I don't see anything else, so I should run and follow what someone else says me to do. I'm not going to let that desperation leads me down to a life that I will regret in the future. Yo, you know the next thing too, you know how much time I get from, people are going to hate me for this, but I don't know what's wrong with Jamaicans. Like, you have to have a kid by a certain age. Bro, I'm 22. You know how much time I get my cousin calling me like, yo, when you're getting a kid, when you're getting this, like, yo, nigga, I don't want any of you to come to me with that. I'm not living the life that I want to achieve. So why should I bring a child into this world when I can't provide for them, when I can't give them a better life than what I grew up in? I'm going to be passing on the same curse to them. I'm going to be passing on the way to them to break the curse. Because, yo, if I don't break the curse, I'm not having any kids. I'm not passing on the same mindset, the same mentality onto them. And yeah, I know I can help them to break it. I can break it even after that. But no, bro. I decided that I will shoulder all the burden on myself. I decided that, yo, I will be the only one to take it on. Yes, I know it's a selfish goal. I know it's really selfish. And I stand by that. But I feel like I was given the responsibility to do it. I felt like God gave me the knowledge and he showed me the path and everything to do. So why shouldn't I be the one to actually take on the challenge of breaking the curse? Yo, I have my niece. I have my niece that I should look out for. I have my younger siblings that I should look out for. I have my future kids that I should look out for, bro. So I'm not content with living the same life. I'm not going to listen to someone who's in the same predicament as me telling me what to do. Unless you have a blue BMW X6 or unless you have a BMW X6, I don't want to hear you coming to me about cars. No, with all due respect still, I'm not really a big car person. So if my dad come to me about cars, I will listen to him about cars because I'm not really a car person. But as I said, if you don't have a BMW X6, I don't want you to tell me about dream life, bro. I don't want you to come to me and tell me about my dream car. Because that's the dream car I want. I don't want you to come to me and tell me like, oh, you don't need to get that car. Get a Nissan, get a Toyota. Like, nigga, I'm going to tell you to move. Yo, genuinely, I'm going to tell you to move, bro. Unless you have the identity and the belief of a person that knows they're on the path to become a 1%, I'm not taking advice from you. Because I see myself. I know I'm on that path to become that 1%. I don't want to hear anything from anyone else. Unless you're living the life that I want to achieve. I don't want to hear from you, bro. I don't want your opinions. Because if your opinions were really valuable, you would be living them too. You'll be acting out on them. You say you want to make $1 million, but you don't actually do the work. You speak about game 24/7. You speak about anime 24/7. And in your free time, you watch porn. But you tell people that you want to make $1 million. You tell people that, oh, you're going to make $1 million, but your results don't speak for yourself. Yo, I used to love playing games. Like, you don't understand, like, I used to live on Fortnite. I used to believe that I could have never dropped that game because it was always updating, new characters are coming out. I haven't played Fortnite since like 2024 or the start of 2025. It's like April 2026 now. Bro, I almost believe like my Switch stopped working because to how long I haven't touched it. And I charged it a few nights ago. I'm like, okay. And then it's left there. It's probably dead again because I haven't played on it. Like, my hobbies now are working out and reading. Tell me that a few years ago, I wouldn't even pay you any mind. But me now, the version of me now is only focused on growth, only focused on building to achieve the life that I want to achieve. To achieve the life of a person who can provide for my family. To achieve the life of a person who can break all the generational curses. So unless you're living that life, I refuse to listen to your opinion. I don't want the desperation of me not seeing opportunities to dictate my destination. I don't want to let fear stop me from taking that risk to better myself. I don't want fear to stop me from taking that risk. Even knowing that, yo, I might fail this business. Let me even get to this. Like, I took the risk to get into a mentorship of e-commerce when I didn't have the finances. I put myself in more debt. And it was because of that made me realize that, yo, I was not ready for e-commerce yet. But if I didn't take that risk to go into the e-commerce mentorship, I wouldn't have known that I wasn't ready. I wouldn't have had the experience of failing. And I wouldn't have had the experience of learning too. Because watching YouTube videos can do so much. But actually having one-on-one experience changes you. Like, a lot of people, if I name off some of the things that I do, people won't even believe. Like, they'll be saying, where did you get time to learn all of this? To whom much is given, much is expected. I was given a lot. Remember the story about the master who gave his servants talent, and some of them flipped it and doubled it and gave it back to him, and you have that one servant that buried it. Bro, like, I gave up on writing music and producing music. And recently I remember that story in the Bible. And I'm like, yo, you can't bury that because God gave you. Yeah, even though when you started, you were trash. You were writing songs and they were hitting. The bars were like, the bars were like, the bars were lean. I know before you stop, you were spitting bars like fire. It doesn't matter, you bring that back. Doesn't matter if no one listens to your song, bring that back. Cause I see it, bro. When God was creating me, God gave me all of these skills. And he said, unless he's deciding to learn, to better himself, he won't unlock these skills. He'll be like that one servant who buried those skills. Like, bro, I can do video editing. Imagine if grade 9 I didn't decided that, yo, me and my friends wanted to be YouTube comedians. I wouldn't have learned video editing. Imagine if when I left school I didn't say I wanted to be an artist. I wouldn't know how to write song. Imagine when I moved to Canada, I decided not to give up on being an artist and decided to get my own equipment and producing my songs. I wouldn't have been a music producer. Like, imagine if I stopped utilizing my imagination when I was younger. I wouldn't have become someone who can write novels. I wouldn't have become someone who can world build. So you shouldn't give up on your talents either. But let me get back to the message at hand. Don't let desperation dictate your destination. Stop listening to people who are not in a better situation than you about your life. Because if they're telling you how to pursue your dreams, if they're diminishing you from pursuing your dreams, don't listen to them. Because they had a life to live and they decided to take the safe route. Yo, risk it all, bro. It's better to live and know that you fail, but you took the risk, than live with the life of regret. Thinking like, yo, what if I did? What if I tried? Would I have make it? Yo, better to live with the idea that, yo, I took all my chances and failed, than when I'm on my deathbed, I'm like, yo, I should have did this, I should have did that. Listen to people who are living the life that you want to live. If you want freedom, listen to man like Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg. Those man build businesses. You see me I say? Listen to man like Myron Golden. That's my mentor. That's the man that got rich from Bible principle. He's one of them that I listen to frequently. He's the one that taught me so much financial knowledge. So I'm choosing to listen to him than listening to anyone in my surrounding who doesn't have that financial knowledge as him. I'm deciding to listen to Wall Street Trapper because he knows more about trading than I do. He knows more about investing than anyone around me. They can tell you so much, but the people who are living the life that you want to live, they have much more experience, so listen to them. But yo, that's the video for the day, bro. Have a wonderful day. Peace.